is right where it needs to be on Netflix. Okay, up next, Snow White. Now, I have refrained over the years. Now, unlike Captain America New World Order, or Brave New World, sorry, I was talking about that movie 2 years before it came out. And since it has been released, I have yet to sort of do my final thoughts video on it because I just sort of been dragging my feet. But this movie, there's been a lot of, just like Brave New World, there's been a lot of controversy surrounding this film. And in the number of reshoots they had to do, just like Brave New World had a number of reshoots cost them upward to $400 million. The same thing's true here. But a lot of people online were talking about this film for a long time before it came out, and they were talking about Rachel Zegler and all the stuff that she said and the interviews that she gave and the conflict between her and Gal Gadot. And so I just sort of stayed out of it. I figured, what is one more voice? And what's about to come up on screen is one of the reasons why I sort of avoided talking about this whole film. Because Rachel Zegler went around for a while and kept opening her fat mouth about her opinions about the movie and the difference that this movie was going to have to the original. Here's an example right here.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. And so it's just a really incredible story for, I think, young people everywhere to see themselves in.
Snow White is running for president.
I'm launching my campaign. I am.
Okay, so Snow White is no longer from Grimm's fairy tales. It's no longer Germanic in origin, and it's no longer meant for children, and it's no longer meant to promote the ideal of promise and hope and charity and overcoming odds just because you're a good person and you can handle it. And you also get a little help from your friends. The dwarves, the prince, that you get by with a little help from your friends. The movie's no longer meant to promote any of that. Now it's to promote a strong woman, the archetype that's in so many films right now. Again, it's gotten to the point of being boring. It's predictable, and you don't want to waste your money on it because a lot of people are just at the stage that enough is enough already. Now, I froze this image. Let me talk about this real quick. I froze this image because, there's an old phrase, of course, that says an image is worth, our picture is worth 1,000 words. Okay, so Zegler is talking into the microphone. This is the same guy, this interviewer. This is the same guy that I've used videos of his, or interview snips of his before. And that he's the one that, in Agatha All Along, his question to every star in that show as they came up was, is this the gayest Marvel project ever? He's the same guy that when he was talking to the people in the Star Wars, the Acolyte, is this the gayest Star Wars ever? That's all the guy cares about. That's his thing. But here they've got him actually asking a question to Rachel Zegler about the film, and she's mouthing off, okay, well, look at Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot's looking down at her like, bitch, please. Just shut up already. And look at this guy over here, the look on his face. That's what's known of as a forced smile. That guy standing there, whoever he is, and he's looking at her answering this question, and he's saying to himself, I might be in this shot. I've got to smile. I've got to smile like a little twerp, just in case, just in case the image gets out there. And it's just kind of sad, but is rather telling, I thought, when I saw this. Okay. Chaos erupts at Gal Gadot's Walk of Fame event as protesters clash family-filled celebration. Now, what this is talking about, the fact, is that Gal Gadot is Israeli. She served in the IDF for 2 years. And serving in the IDF, I was in that part of the world at one time. Serving in the IDF is not the same as serving in the U.S. military. Because in Israel, everyone has to serve at some level in the IDF. Because they are surrounded on all sides by people who want to kill them. And that is been driven home over the last couple of years in particular. But Rachel Zegler came out in support of Hamas, and that didn't sit well with Gal Gadot, and I can't say that I blame her. So there's a lot of tension between the two, and it shows up on the screen. Okay, so let's do that. Let's talk about the movie itself as the trailer runs here. This film is I suppose at this point, exactly what you would expect it to be. It's plotting, it's boring, it's uninspired, and one of the reasons for that is the exact same reason that plagued Captain America Brave New World. In that Brave New World, they kept reshooting it. And so the final product was a Frankenstein's monster. The final product was an amalgamation of bits taken from here, from there, and then sewed together like a patchwork quilt and then wrapped around a body and sent out to say, go entertain the public. Same thing is true here. This film had a lot of controversy from the first time they showed the image of what turns out to be a bandit gang. They weren't really the dwarfs, but that's what people thought they were supposed to represent, right? That these were the 7 dwarfs that were going to attend Snow White, and they looked like, the 7 they-thems as opposed to... but they turn out to be bandits, and one of them actually saves Snow White's life in the film. The movie is directionless in the fact that you can just tell in watching it that they couldn't make up their mind exactly how far they wanted to go with some of the messages that they wanted to get across about, again, the strong female archetype who has to win on her own. And eventually they do that. Okay, spoiler alert to one degree. Eventually they do that by making apple pies, and I won't go into any more detail than that. Gal Gadot, what amazed me about this, Gal Gadot is a beautiful woman. She is one of the most beautiful women in the world, like Scarlett Johansson. And in this film, they did manage to make her look unattractive. I just found that kind of a shame as well. Rachel Zegler can sing, but she doesn't have any charm in this film. All she has is that same, feminist bitch attitude. And the world that they build around her, of course, it's all CGI crap. I mean, the CGI in this thing is horrible, especially when you see the dwarves for the first time in the mirror, the magic mirror itself. It's a shock. You think, okay, they spent $300 million on this thing. Where did all the fracking money go, man? Well, the ending leaves room for a sequel. All I'll tell you is that the queen gets mad at her mirror and shatters it. The mirror eats her, so you don't know, is the queen really dead or not? So they do leave room for a sequel, but hopefully, I kind of doubt it will ever get made. Do you want to go see this? I guess if you got little kids, because little kids won't pick up on all the messaging, so to speak. But if you're on your own, you got a date, go to Taco Bell, man, and you'll have a lot more fun. All right, so here's the International Movie Database page. Rachel Zegler, Amelia Fulcher plays young Snow White. Gal Gadot is the evil queen, and again, I just think it's sad the way they made her up in this movie. And then they have the voices of the 7 dwarves, because they couldn't have any actual dwarves, any actual actors who were dwarves in this film, and all because of Peter Dinklage. You can look that story up yourself. All right, so Snow White, I give it a pass. It'll be out. It'll show up on Netflix or Disney Plus. It'll be on Disney Plus soon enough. All right, moving on to our final segment.
I'm sure you think you got this licked, Your Majesty, but trust me, you'd know what you're up against. See, unlike you, I know her.
I think you mean new.